everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today we're playing through Sword and Sorcery. This is part number 9. We're going to go over a couple quick things that I want to just correct before we get going with the playthrough. So these are just some minor tweaks and edits to what we had done at the end of the last video. The very first thing is Skeld. Now at the end of the last video, he had gone ahead on his turn in the prior round, and he'd done his movement. He had a total of 3 movement, and he moved 2 of those spaces, and then landed here. And then from here, he had 1 more, but he cannot enter this place because it's difficult terrain. He didn't have an extra movement to do, but I didn't realize and just kind of slipped the mind that he hadn't actually used an action, which he can cash in, essentially, to do a dash once per round, which gives you an extra movement point. So he, in essence, has 2. And because he has 2 left over to spend, we're absolutely moving him into this space. And again, it doesn't change any of the gameplay whatsoever because everything would have been removed from that area anyway. And he's definitely going to pick up the coins because, like we talked about in the last episode, we want Skeld to hold the coins because he's got the most HP and is most likely to survive any attacks that come at him, because gremlins typically target individuals, or always target individuals, with coins. So they enjoy stealing, as we well know. So that's Skeld's first point. That's the first thing I want to mention before we get going. The second thing I want to make mention of is that Samira is going to go into ghost form. And this might be a little confusing for people, but around the 927 mark of the last video, she suffered some damage, and I was really traumatized, and I kind of forgot to put her into ghost form. So there's definitely a first time for everything, and this is a first time for sure. I've never actually forgotten to kill off a hero, but Samira is going to go into ghost form in order for me to be playing legit, is the best way to say it. So this individual is in ghost form now. The good thing is that all the enemies are off the board. She would have killed the enemy, but at the same time taken enough damage to go into ghost form herself. So again, she loses all the damage off of her. This is going to flip over, and she'll be in her ghost form starting in this current round. The third thing is Onamor was also hit by the Spine's ability, and we didn't roll his defense for that. So he needs to roll 2 dice to avoid taking damage. So we're going to take 2 blue dice and attempt to roll against the Spine's ability. Now the Spine's ability came from the blue gremlin, the very last one, who was the biggest pain for all of us. And even though he was killed, his Spine's ability still goes ahead regardless. I know it sounds crazy, but he still actually gets it, and I had forgotten to roll for Onamor. So we're going to go ahead and do that and see if he can block the damage. I'm hoping he does. He does. Look at that. 2 blocks. So no damage whatsoever to Onamor, which is great. Okay, so now we essentially just have to continue with the new round. So we're at the very beginning of the new round. We've got all of our bookmarks in the active positions. Everything is good to go. We've caught up with all the mistakes that we made in the last one. Those 3 are now flipped. So we should be ready to go. So let's just begin with our player turn from this point on. So really, I mean, we know Samira needs to definitely do something about her situation going into ghost form. What does she do in Soul Shout? So it says Soul Shout. As a passive ability, anybody within her range, any hero gains +2 while he remains in your area. Oh, I think that could be he or she. But essentially, she can Soul Shout as a passive ability, which there's no reason not to heal somebody. Now, the only thing is, nobody needs healing. So I don't need healing on Skeld. I don't need healing on Onamor. So that ability is not really going to help me. So really what's probably going to end up happening with her is I'm going to probably have to recall her. So I'm going to be using her recall ability to move to this shrine over here. The reason I'm doing that is because the only other shrine in the game is over here, and we're nowhere near getting into this place in time to resurrect. Although I could wait, but that's the fun part. I don't know what's coming next. So maybe we'll activate Samira last to see what's going to happen with the story event we run into here in a second. So let's just strategically use the 2 individuals that are alive first, see what's there, and then we'll go from there. So who do we want to run into the fray first? Probably Skeld, because Skeld's our tank, essentially, our berserker. He's the only individual that we have that has good defense and also can take a lot of hits. So I'm going to have him activate first. He's going to do his movement, which is 3. So 3 is going to get him 1, 2, and 3. Not enough to get to this event card, but I'm going to use the 1 action that he has in order to get him to dash, and that's going to get him to the story event. Whenever you land on a story event card, you immediately have to flip it over and resolve it. So we're going to do that. It says, story event number 1, read and apply the story event effects described in the story book. So basically you head to your storybook, which is the large book which we use to set up this whole thing. The story event is number 1, and it correlates to 1.1 from the Book of Secrets. So then we're going to run to the Book of Secrets, and I'm obviously not going to show you the full page because I don't want to spoil anything else on that page for you. We'll just read what applies. So I'm going to read this out for you guys, all right? So story event number 1, the heroes reach the city at the first light of the sun. Beyond the gates, a vision of blood greets them. Swarms of gremlins are attacking buildings and people alike, starting fires everywhere. We're supposed to place event 4 in play and resolve it. Okay, so we're going to be taking event 4. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my event deck off to the side here and do a quick to just find 4. I've got 4 right here. At least it should be 4. Based on the number of things. Now it does say to place event 4 in play and resolve it. So I'm wondering whether or not... Okay, this makes sense now that I'm seeing it. Guys, this is a day card. Now this is what's very interesting and something to note. This is not going to land on top of this. It's going to replace this particular card up here. So you'll see there's a night and day kind of cycle. So what's going to happen now is because we've reached this courtyard, the daytime is coming, and it says to read and apply the day event effects described in the storybook. Shift all powers forward 1. So in our case, if we had any powers that were kind of in the cooldown state, they would shift forward, but we don't. Everything's available, so we're okay. The cool thing is, guys, we are finally out of the night phase, which means that -1 should hopefully go away, but we have to read what's in the book first to determine whether that's accurate. So the day is now the major effect in play. So this -1 hit, I can put it aside for now, at least until we confirm what else is going to come of the daytime. So maybe what we'll do thematically here is I'm just going to reach over. We're going to actually have the daytime come into play. There we go. So we got full light back in the land. So now we're going to go into our Book of Secrets here and take a look to see what happens during the daytime. So during the daytime, let's see, is it very easy to find? I guess is the bigger question. What does the card say? Read and apply the day event effects. Oh, it's in the storybook. My mistake. Not the Book of Secrets. So the day effect is no additional effects. So essentially what's happening is it's just in this particular scenario, the day card doesn't do anything. It's going to bring about just light in the campaign, but we have now no longer suffered that -1 hit. That's always applicable when we try to attack. So that's awesome. So that's a huge advantage for us now. We finally have that and don't have to deal with that. So we went ahead, read and apply the story of effects. So I'm going to continue on. There's more stuff in the Book of Secrets that you guys can't see because I'm kind of keeping it off camera here. We're supposed to place 2 fire tokens, 1 on location C and 1 on location D. So that's going to be here and it's going to be here. So there's some fires kind of in the area. Now the reason you might be wondering why are those there, I'm seeing those straight from the Prologue map. You can see C and D right there, so I've gone ahead and put them exactly where those fires are supposed to be based on the Book of Secrets. Then it says to remove the spawn gate from the quest. This is the spawn gate it's referring to. This spawn is no longer active. It's completely taken out, so now if anything does spawn, it will not come from that corner. Thank goodness, because they've been just coming out of there like crazy. Then we're going to be opening the other spawn gate, which is this one. So this spawn gate activates. It's going to be more so in front of us than coming from behind us. And it says place the story event 1 card, which is this card right here, revealed side up on top of the event deck. So what this is going to do is give us essentially an extra turn. So that's what it's doing as a timer, is it's going to give us an extra turn, which is good because we need all the time we can get to this cathedral temple area here. So let's go ahead and read the rest of this. It says, the entrance to the cathedral, which is essentially right here, is clearly visible to the heroes, yet as they walk towards it, something attracts their attention, some dangerous-looking humans, clad in heavy leather armor, carved with strange symbols and wielding carved blades, are opening a chest on a cart, but as one, they turn toward the heroes. Crazy. Okay, and this one says we're allowed to actually go ahead, apparently, and make a... so basically, there's a soul nature choice that happens here. Because as a group, we've chosen to go the chaos route, as our party is mainly in chaos state. we're going to make a choice to, we can either drive, if we were law, we could drive away the raiders. We could choose to walk away if we're neutral, or if we're chaos, we can fight the raiders to steal the chest. I say we fight them because we're ridiculous. Is that the right decision? I don't know, to be totally honest. It could come back to haunt us a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna fight them because that's our soul nature choice. So we're gonna be going with that. So I'm gonna move to 1.8 really quick, and we'll read that. So assessing the situation, the hero quickly decides whatever is in the chest may be helpful to their mission. The raider, knowing he's been discovered, throws a dagger at the hero and then disappears among the flames. The active hero is attacked by 2 hits and a poison 1. So basically, it's going to be the active hero was Skeld because he was the one that moved into this area. He's taking 2 hits. Good thing we brought him in because he can block one of those hits with his shield. Now he has to roll to block the other hit. And he does without any issue whatsoever. So that's awesome. Now what we have to check on this poison 1 effect. So if I take a quick look at poison, it says, for poison, it says, suffer wounds equal to the poison effect in each time phase. Perform a save attempt to remove the condition. Okay, so interesting. So I'm going to go ahead, and I don't actually have... No, I do have. Never mind. I got the token right here. I'm going to put it on him. So this is the poison heart, and I'll show you guys in just 2 seconds. This is exactly the token to put on to Skeld. So he's been poisoned. So if I go back to the Book of Secrets really quick, I'll do a quick, because it says poison 1 and you're hit 2, so basically you don't have a choice, you're being poisoned. Then it says shuffle 1 green raider into the enemy deck or 2 green raiders if there are more than 3 heroes. So there's only going to be 1 green raider being added to the enemy deck. So we're going to go in here and we're going to find the green raider. So I'm going to be kind of doing this one-handed, so you guys are going to have to bear with me just a little bit as I try to rip through this on camera. So let's see here. These are warrior. Here we go. There's the raider. Perfect. So this is the green raider right there. So we're going to throw this guy into the deck. So it says shuffle 1 green raider into the enemy deck. So this is the enemy deck currently, which is very thin because the other ones have been discarded and used, which means it's going to be one of these 2 at some point. I'm going to have to do some shuffling there off camera. And then it says, note, when any green raider dies, remove it from the quest. So it's, in other words, it's never going to come back again because there is a discard pile for enemies that keeps on getting recycled every single time. So basically it's saying once the raider shows up, you fight him. Once you kill him, he's gone. He's not like a character that will just repeatedly show up. And then it says right now that we're supposed to spawn enemies. So we're going to go ahead and spawn some enemies based on our hero count. Now when you're counting heroes, you're counting the amount of heroes that are actually active in play, not the ones that are in ghost form. So we technically have 2, but it'd be minus the enemies, which are 0. So that's 2 enemies coming up. But then it said, then it also says -1 enemy. So 1 enemy will be drawn, which is probably us. Well, the question is, are we going to get the raider or are we going to get the gremlin? We got the gremlin. Okay, so we got a little lucky. We know the raider is going to be coming after us at some point here soon. So now we're going to go ahead and spawn this guy into play. Now, it is going to go on Skeld because he is the active hero. So we'll throw this gremlin into the active spawn point, which is right here. So that's good, but we know a raider's coming for sure, no matter what, on the next pull for spawn. So regardless, he's going to be there. What's next? If you still want to open the chest, go to 110. I want to open the chest. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like going ahead and open the chest. I'm going to do it. So it says, ignoring the fleeing enemy, the hero opens the chest. The active hero draws and applies a trap card. Okay, because I'm just insane. I just want to keep making myself go through pain and suffering. Ice spikes, nasty. Unless save, each hero within 2 areas becomes slowed. Okay, let's see if I can try to avoid that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my save roll, which I'm looking for a shield. Here's hoping that that shield happens. It does not. So I am actually slowed. So a slowed token looks like, I'm just gonna move the Book of Secrets off to the side for a second here. The slowed token looks like this. It kind of has a heart with like a blue emblem in the inside. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. So now my character is slowed and poisoned. Kind of insane. He's getting a little bit beat up a little bit, but you know what? I don't like leaving anything out. I'm kind of a sucker like that. So we're going to have the slow token go on him as well as the poison token. So what does the slow token do? It says, for a hero, while slowed, a hero can only perform free action activities and only one movement or one combat or one action activity. Discard the slow token at the end of his next hero turn. So this is going to sit on him until the next hero turn. So basically, if you want to understand how it works timing-wise, when the time phase hits at the end of all of our heroes' turns here, once we go past all the event phase and we go back to the time phase, the poison is going to hit Skeld for 1 and then be removed. And then after his next hero turn in the next round at the end of it, then this slow token will come off and it's going to affect his movement in the next round. So that's not good. It slows him down, but that's what I chose to do because I'm crazy. Now the question is, does anything good come of this? Place a treasure card in story event 1 area. Okay, so there is a plus. There was a plus to doing this and it landed right here. Now this is where it gets kind of nasty because technically I'm slowed right now. I've already gone ahead with, now that's the end of the whole series of insanity from the storybook in terms of what's going on. So then the question becomes, do I want to bother picking it up? It's a free action to pick things up, and I can show that to you just right here. An unlimited free action is pick up or drop an item. So I could try to pick this up for free. It doesn't hurt me in any way. So I do have one free action to go ahead and, well, I don't see any reason not to. Yeah, really I don't. I'm going to go ahead and probably pick it up. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. So his last act, now the only other thing would be is if the slowed somehow affects him. So let's take a look at the slowed condition and just make sure. So it says, while slowed, a hero can only perform free actions and only one movement or one combat or one action activity. Discard the slow. Okay, so we're fine. Because I've already gone ahead and did my movement before I was slowed, it's now saying now that I am slow, I can only do either a free action and only one movement, or some other things like combat or one action activity. So I'm going to choose to use my free action. I'm going to pick that treasure up. So it's not going to stop me this turn, but come next turn, I'm going to be a little bit in trouble. And actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I won't. And the reason I just realized that I don't want to pick it up is because he only has a backpack of 1, and I've already got 1 item in my backpack, so he can't carry anymore. I'd have to drop things on the ground if I wanted to pick that up. Now, maybe it's worth it to drop it for the healing elixir. So, ooh, that's a tough call. If I pick up, drop an item, it does say I can pick up or drop any number of items or crowns. So maybe I should pick it up and then just drop it if I don't want it. So I'm going to pick it up regardless. We're going to see what it is at least first. Oh, look at this, guys. This could be good. What is that? Focus, focus. Come on, here we go. The Guardian. That looks nice. I'm pretty happy with that. So this is a slash weapon exotic until time phase when defending +1 defense to... Wow, that's pretty awesome. I'm starting to wonder, that's pretty incredible. What I may have to do actually in between these videos is just to double check that exotic weapon should or shouldn't be in the item deck, because I want to make sure that I'm not pulling a card that would not be allowed to have. But for now I'm going to take it because that's what I pulled, but I'm going to double check that in between videos just to be 100% sure on that. But that's an incredible card. I don't see any reason why I'd want to let that go. I want to keep that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now if I want to keep this, I believe if I want to reorganize and equip items and all that kind of stuff, when you pick up and drop, it just goes right into your inventory and you have to use an action later to reorganize your stuff. So maybe what I'll do for now is I'll pick this up and I'm going to drop the healing potion because I want him to have the nice sword. But I'm going to drop the healing potion on the ground and somebody else, one of these other guys can come up behind him and pick it up later. So that's going to basically end Skeld's turn. He's not in any kind of range to do any damage to the gremlin. So again, because I'm slow, I can't even do anything. Because I chose to pick this up, I can't do anything else. So this is going to be now closed off. I'm done with his turn. I'm going to be pulling an encounter card. and hoping that the gremlin doesn't come flying at me. I'm also going to take these ice spikes and get rid of them because they no longer apply. So here we go. What do we got? We got Scout. Activate one enemy. Well, that's pretty straightforward. That's the only thing I can do is activate one enemy, so we don't need to talk about the otherwise conditions, so that's pretty straightforward. So we're going to be activating the green gremlin. So we're going to be taking his card here and doing exactly what we can with him. He is a range of 2 away, so he's going to move to engage me and then engage with claws. So he's going to go 1 and then 2. He'll be in my space, and he's going to come at me with claws. This is where it gets nasty because remember guys, he's a thief, and if claws attack deals damage, discard a random coin from the target hero's inventory, meaning he can take this coin. Now the good thing is he doesn't have any banding because they don't control the area. It's an even 1-1 split, so nobody's controlling. And Evil Force doesn't matter because there's no one activating, so it's just going to be 2 red dice rolling at me for his claws is going to be the fun part of this, and see what happens. Oh, that's actually not bad. That's only 1 hit. That's perfectly fine. And with that 1 hit, guys, automatically my shield blocks it, so nothing happens, means I get to keep my coin. That's good news. So now that that's over with, what we're going to do here is maybe I will now that I know that there's a gremlin there, I'm going to get Samira back to... Actually, you know what? I want to wait. Maybe Onamor can do some damage from where he is. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate Onamor. He's going to now go. He's going to go 1, 2, and 3 to get into the same space. He's going to be attacking with his staff, which is 3 blue dice. We're looking for 3 hits in order to kill him. And remember, we don't have the -1 from daytime anymore, so that's good. And we're hoping for the best here. So here we go, Onamor, and again, he's using his staff, which is a blunt weapon. And again, if we kill this green gremlin, we end up getting a stone shard, or a soul gem, sorry, which is good because we need it for Samira later to regenerate her. And we ended up getting, not enough. Oh, wait a minute, did we get enough? We got enough to bash. So when we get the bash ability, what does that do? If the attacker obtains at least 1 hit, forces the defender to move back. Okay, so we end up hitting the gremlin. We also end up pushing it back, which doesn't do all that much. But essentially we shoved him back, but we also hit him. We hit him for 2, which isn't enough to kill him, but it's enough to do damage to him, so that's good. Oh, and you know what? I should have focused, and I probably would have focused, and I just forgot that. So you know what? He is dead. Because Onamor used his movement of 3, which is 1, 2, 3. He attacked the gremlin, and he would have focused. I just slipped the mind and forgot about it because he had an extra free action to do that. So I'm considering this green gremlin dead. So that means we gain a soul shard, or soul gem, I should say. This gremlin is out of the picture. Now the only enemy in play that's not part of the deck we know is the raider. He's coming next. He's going to be in this courtyard messing with us. So that's awesome. So he ended up doing his turn. And the cool thing is because we killed him, he's no longer in play. That means Onamor's turn is done. And the cool thing is there will be no enemy phase because no enemies exist currently. So that's awesome, which means Samira right now can go ahead and just use her recall ability, free action, to shoot her all the way back to the shrine to get ready to resurrect. So she's ready for the next round. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing I forgot that I could do is pick up something. So I'm going to have Onamor actually pick up the potion. Because he's here, he might as well grab it and not leave it on the ground. So he can carry up to 3 items. So before his turn ends, I'm just going to have him grab that. And we're all squared away. We got 2 guys bursting into the courtyard where there's some fire. There's no longer any enemies. We've got Samira over here ready to resurrect. It's daytime. Things are turning around. Here's hoping they keep going that way. So hope you guys are enjoying. Till next time, keep rolling solo.